Hi, my name is Naomi, and I'm the creator of 2&4, who makes handmade products for your two-legged loved ones and your four-legged loved ones. We've been working on a biking short, and this is part 4 of 4 of the series, and this is where we're actually going to sew the shorts. We've been working. These two patterns are pretty much very similar. Basically, they use two different methods to put together the shorts, and here's what the shorts ultimately end up looking like. But you can decide which method you like better. Either pattern, it doesn't really matter. And we'll see, one pattern does not even really tell you how to attach the elastic. So I've used the same method for both, though there are different methods that you could use to attach the elastic. Why don't we go get started? All right, so I'm actually going to be using my serger for the most part on this project, and but if you don't have a serger, you can just use a zigzag stitch, and on a regular sewing machine that would be just fine. Or if you have, some of them have a stretch stitch, and that's usually signified, if you look on the stitches available to you, it usually has like a triple line. Instead of the straight single sewing line, it has 3 of those usually grouped together. And I can show you when I move everything over to the sewing machines. So I told you guys I would show you what the stretch stitch usually looks like, and it's number 9 on my machine. But yours, it's usually multiple lines to indicate it's a stretch stitch. All right, we're at the serger, and I have white thread in because I'm using white fabric. And the first step is to just sew the seams, the curved seams. But I'm going to serge along this edge and then on the other side. So I'm going to put my fabric up against the edge, and I'm going to make sure, even though I have clips in there, I'm going to make sure that my edges are together. And all you do when you come to a curve is you just kind of straighten the fabric out as you're guiding it through. I'm not pulling on it, I'm just guiding it and just straightening it. Okay. I have, in my upper looper, I have Maxi Lock stretch thread in. I just like how it feels, how it gives a silky finish to the seams. So, all right, I'm gonna do the other side and then I'll tuck in my tails. All right. Take my tails, and I have this little tool which I picked up when I had a 50% coupon from Joann's. It's called a nit picker, and all I do is about an inch down. I just place the tool in and make sure the little door, there's a little door there, is open. I take my thread, my tail, I hang it there, I close the door, and I bring it down. Okay. I'm going to do that at the other end. Some people, you don't necessarily feel you necessarily have to do that if you're going to have a seam across, but it really only takes me not even a minute to do it, so I just do it. This way I don't need to remember, do I have a seam going across or not? Okay, now I'll do the other side. Now you open it up so that you could do the crotch seam. So basically, I'm just gonna line up the crotch. And I always like to put a clip on this, on the side that isn't going to get sewn, just because I feel it helps keep it together. All right. And I'll do the other end, and then I'll meet the middle. All right, so I'm going to take my center seam and I'm going to put at the crotch, I'm going to put one of my seams going one way and the other one going the other way, just because that will reduce the bulk. Okay, and then it's not that big of a seam. I'm put one of these here because I'm going to have to remove that center one. All right, make sure my seams are going in opposite directions. All right. All right, so I'm at my serger, and the first step says to serge the inseams, which is the crotch. Preference. And so I'm just going to test out my stitch. That looks good. It's not really wavy, so it's laying flat. So now we'll do the actual. So I have right sides together and it's pinned at the crotch. I'm going to go ahead and serge this. So I've done at least one size larger, so I know I have enough room to go ahead and let it cut fabric off and give me a nice clean cut. I'm just making sure that my pieces match up. And I'm not even going to cut it yet. I'm just going to go ahead and do the other leg. And now I'll cut it off. And I'll cut in between the two legs. Okay, she does it a totally different way than I learned to do it, but all right, we'll do it her way. She says, turn both legs to the right side. Okay, both legs are to the right side. All right. So then she says, place one leg on top of the other so the short parts are facing each other. The short part is the front of the shorts. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm going to match the center seams, and I'm going to put the seam going in opposite directions so I don't have a bulk in the crotch area. So I have this seam facing this way and the other seam facing the other way. Get some clips, and I'm just going to clip that and go along here, put another clip every couple of inches. Now, if it's a long seam like this is, I would put a clip going on the top edge, because when you're on a serger, you have to remove that first clip. Cannot be up here because you won't be able to get it under the presser foot. So I just match up my top edge and I just put a clip in just to kind of help hold it together. All right, so now we're going to serge all the way. Okay. Take those top clips out. And in a minute so you should end up with your shorts formed. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and tuck my tails in, and then we'll move on to step 4. All right, so I've measured out my elastic and basically just put it around your waist and then subtract like 2 inches from it. And what I do is I usually clip it and see if it feels comfortable. Now to sew it, I'm using a zigzag stitch, and I'll be using the zigzag stitch to sew it. I'll be using a zigzag stitch to sew it on to the garment. So I have my width set at 2.6 and my length at 2.0. And all I'm going to do is I've put it together. I don't mind working in the round. And so I am going to just do a box around it, but I will go back and forth a couple of times. bring my needle up. I can cut the thread. Now, if you don't have a lock stitch, what you would do is you would take your 2 threads and you would knot them together. So you have 4 threads. You take 2 and you lock them together. So I would do a knot like 3 times, and that should be sufficient. Now, because I have the lock stitch, I'm just going to cut the other ones. That was just to show you. All right, so now I have that. And what I'm going to do is I am going to find my center, all right? And I am going to, let me just figure out which is my right side. Okay, yep, this is, so I'm turning my elastic to the wrong side so I can mark it up. So what I'm doing is I have found that center and I'm just marking it, grabbing the other side, marking it. Now I used 3/4 inch non-roll knit elastic. Knit elastic's a little weaker than regular elastic, but because I'm kind of wearing this as underwear over my underwear, I don't want really strong elastic to dig into my waist. All right, so now I'm putting together the 2 marks that I made there and there, and I'll just clip them together for the moment, and then I'm going to mark my sides. So I've quartered my elastic. All right. So now I'm going to take the garment, and I already have front and back, so we don't need to mark that, but what we do need to mark are the sides. I'm going to match up my seams. I'll put a clip there just to help me. And then, so I have a clip in the front and back seam. And now I can easily find my sides. So I will take my pen, which will come out with heat, and I will mark my sides. So step 4, what you want to do is you actually want to put the elastic on the inside. Pardon me. So I'm going to take that mark. All right, that's going to be my back, and I'm going to mark it up. I'm going to put it with the garment, and it goes on the inside. So the top edge of the garment goes on the top edge of the elastic. And I will clip that there. And then I'll go and do my front. And again, I'll take my seam, that's kind of my mark, line up the elastic on the top, and clip it. And now I'll just grab some more clips. I'll do that on the side. Again, I have a mark and a mark. Put the elastic on the inside, and I'll clip it. Do the same on the other side. And now I'll just kind of go around and put a couple of more clips just so it's easy for me. So all I've done is I've added a few more clips. All right, and I'm going to start on the back side. And even though I can take this part of my sewing machine off to make it easier to go around, I'm not going to do that because not everybody has that. So I'm going to go ahead and do it in the same way. And what it really entails is that you pay attention and you keep moving your fabric out of the way. All right, so I'm starting at the back. A little before the back seam. And I'll put my needle down and then my presser foot, and I think that should give me enough space. And what I'm doing is making sure the top edge of the fabric is on the top edge of the elastic. And all I'm going to do is go all the way around. And what I'm doing is stretching to match up the elastic and the fabric. All right, when I get to the end, I'm going to overlap my stitching probably by, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch. And then I'll go ahead and do my lock stitch. You can either do reverse if you can do that and come back, or you'll tie off your threads. Okay. All right. And then you'll fold your elastic down. And I will just grab some clips. And again, I'll do the front and the back. And all I'm doing is I'm just making sure it's laying nice and flat. Okay, this time I'm going to sew on the inside so that I can see the edge. So I'm going to do a 1-inch hem, and all I did was I marked 2 inches up on the inside, and then I just fold it up to the mark, and that gives me a 1-inch hem. All right, so that was part 4 of a 4-part series of videos. They're linked below, part 1 through 3. If you haven't seen them, we went through putting together the PDF pattern, shortening the rise if you needed to, and also cutting out the fabric, 2 methods. And then this 4th one, we put together the shorts, we sewed them using 2 different methods. You pick whichever method you'd like. This is what they turn out to look like. Perfect for what my purpose of them is. And if you like these videos, please give them a thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, I would love it if you subscribed. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. Hit the notification bell if you want to be notified the next time I post a video. Thank you.